You know, when people recommend you a book and you hear good things about it, and then you read it, and I mean, people make mistakes, unfortunately, and I've made one myself by wasting my time. To be fair, I think The Midnight Library could have been a good book if you wrote it right. And our dear Matt did not write it right. So this world's greatest creation has like 288 pages in it, which is I don't know, maybe I have this kind of an opinion on it because I've just finished reading A Little Life, and anything compared to that seems bad. Although no, I take it back, this is just not a well-written book. So, oh my good lord. The Midnight Library follows a main character named Nora, and she, spoilers here, unalives herself. And she appears inside a midnight library, which is kind of like a purgatory, but not quite, apparently. She has to live through a couple of regrets, choose a different scenario, and see if her life would have ended up any better if she made the right choices. And it doesn't. So what's the problem with this book? Well, the main problem is it starts off very fast-paced, which sometimes is done on purpose to kind of get to the main point of the whole plot, but not with Midnight Library. Now, the Midnight Library is fast-paced throughout the whole book, except for a couple of snippets, which I assume were the author's favorite parts, and he just wanted to elaborate on them a little more, and it doesn't work. So we very quickly get to the point where she takes the mighty, courageous step of unaliving herself, and she dies. From the beginning to that event, it goes very quickly. From that point on, it doesn't get any better, but the language is very simplistic, which is often good in a book. I don't think it was a good idea in here. The author tried to put some elements of philosophy in here, which is the whole life is what you make of it kind of point, from what I understood. That no matter what life you live, you will still have regrets, and you will still be unhappy every now and again, and you just have to make it work somehow. And that would have been all nice and dandy. It wouldn't have been nice and dandy. Except for the fact that I had a feeling like I'm a 6-year-old who reads this and the author is trying to explain to me how to suck eggs. And you might argue like, oh well, maybe the audience was a little bit younger, but younger audience doesn't care about philosophy, it doesn't care about living life to the fullest or thinking about the future, because it's all about now. And in the now, the idea of taking a couple of pills might sound like a really good idea under certain circumstances. Yeah, the language is very not childish, very infantile, very simple, to the point that you feel you're just reading a child's book. And this is not a child's book, because it mentions some fuck. You know, the some fuck scene actually annoyed me the most, because it just appeared out of fucking nowhere. One of her lives, she becomes a glaciologist, and she meets another dude who is also living a couple of different lives, which apparently he's in the same boat as her. And we don't get a backstory on him. We get a very brief description of who he is and what tango he's dancing. And then we get to the sick. And it's I'm disappointed. You know, throughout the whole book, the relationships are very surface level. It's very... There's no depth in this book. I think that's the best way to describe it. There is no depth in this book, which is a shame because it could have been very good. It could have been a very good book if it was written correctly. This is like the point that I keep on making over and over and over, but it all boils down to the same fucking point. Think about Nora as a character, at least that's how I understood her. She sounds like a little bit ungrateful, to be honest. She sounds like she's always unhappy. She gets to live through so many lives, which were good lives, but because she, once more, like fucking Ariel, she just is never really content. There is always that small detail which returns her to the Midnight Library. In some cases, it's not a small detail at all. In some cases, she finds out that her family member is dead, but other cases, she just didn't like the sex, and now she's back in the Midnight Libraries. So that could have been improved as well. I generally get a feeling that the Midnight Library didn't have a beta reader, and it didn't have an editor, and it kind of just, you know, you write the first draft and off you go with it, and that can stab you in the back. That can stab you in the back quite a few times. And you know, this is my pet peeve when people write romance in books, or even a fucking one-night stand, because to the end of the way, that's what it was. Don't make it appear out of nowhere. Build up to that point. And build up to that point over several pages, over several chapters, over the whole fucking book if you have to. But not like, woman meets man, man hot, she's never hot, he has a big willy, they vet. That's just a very juvenile writing, and that doesn't keep your reader interested. And to say that this is a multi-million copy bestseller, no, you bought that title. That's not true. Honestly, I do know that authors can buy their best-selling title sometimes. I feel this was the case with this book because of the reviews say, such a beautiful book, filled with warmth and humor. If this book is filled with humor, then I'm a Class A comedian. When I read books like these, I realize two things. One is that you can publish anything, so if you've ever wanted to write a book, good. You know, pollute the book market. And the second thing that I've learned is that, and I do hope that I'm wrong, but people just don't have the patience to read something more in-depth, something more, yeah, they don't have the patience to read something deeper than some surface level bullshit about an ungrateful woman who is never happy. You know, the ending of that book, it fucked me over, because when everything is burning down in the library and she needs to get out, she realizes, oh, holy shit, I want to live. She gets 7 seconds to get back to the other world. And in those 7 seconds, you know, when there's smog and smoke and fire everywhere, she manages to find her way to the shelf, find her way to the correct book, take that book, rewrite the same sentence 3 times, 3 or 4 times, I don't remember how many times. 4 times. 4 times. 4 times the charm. Under those circumstances, under smells of fire, smells of smoke, can't see shit, panicking, I think you need a lot longer than 7 seconds. Because when she starts writing a sentence in the book which should return her back to the living world, she doesn't know what she has to write. She's just trial and erroring the correct sentence. And you write the sentence down, you have to wait, you have to realize nothing's going on, you have to write that sentence again. Just finding your way through a burning room filled with smoke. That'll take you longer than, than 1 or 2 seconds. First she writes, Nora wanted to live. Then she writes, Nora decided to live. Then Nora was ready to live. And then, I am alive. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't know if somebody actually tried timing that turn of events in real time. I would have timed it, but I am indisposed. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change my clothes. Let's go. Oh my god! Conveniently placed book. Holy shit! Oh no! We have to open the first page. Oh my god! And Nora wanted to fight. Oh my god! That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nora, I don't remember. Live. No, it doesn't work either. We're scratching that out. Then Nora, fuck my life. Hello, cats. Did live. I don't remember the exact words. You underscore the live. Fucking hell, that doesn't work. And I am alive. That didn't feel like 7 seconds to me. Well, as you have clearly witnessed, that took me much longer than 7 seconds. So I never fuck up. And you might argue, oh, you probably misunderstood the assignment. But no, the author actually gives a countdown, like 52 seconds, 53 seconds, and then he gives the description of all the bullshit that happens after 53 seconds. And the way he's written it, we understand that she has 7 seconds left until a full minute to get out, and she fails. Moral of the story is, grab a beta reader, grab a good editor, and as the good old saying goes, if you're not sick of rereading and rewriting your first draft, then there's possibly some more room for improvement. And in my little experiment over there that I've done just now, I've not even written complete sentences. I've written just Nora ... live, and still it took me quite a while, because you cannot write 4 sentences in 7 seconds. Like, it's just not gonna happen. That masterpiece, The Midnight Library, I give it I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. It's honestly not any better than that. So, sorry, Matt Haig, but you can do better than this. Keep writing, but you can do better than this, and you can you can give it to a better editor. I'm just wondering, can you actually buy your reviews as well? You probably can. The book is shit. I hated it. Pigeons died and this thing.